Okay, thank you so much for joining us in Vanguard Live, the sporting segment of Vanguard Live that is. And indeed, we thank God that it's Friday, the weekend edition of Vanguard Live Sports. So many interesting stories on our menu today. Of course, you know that Wanda Metropolitana will be the cynosure of all eyes, talking about the Champions League. And indeed, so many soccer fans are crazy about that. Many people are betting, and of course arguments here and there. Will be taking a very proper look on the match between two English club sides. So many people say that it's going to be another Premier League match, and then indeed we know that it's the Champions League final between Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool. Who is going to carry the day? Because I have very good analysts who are here to analyze this. And then we'll also be looking, taking a look at the Eagles camp that opens on Sunday for the African Cup of Nations. So many things happening. We're going to talk about Mikel Obi. His club has said final bye-bye to him. We'll look at that and also look at the unending crisis in the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, talking about a scandal, the $150,000 that developed wings in Nigeria. So many things are talking. So many people are talking. The president who has been suspended, talking about Ibrahim Guzo, has finally spoken, and the outgone Minister of Sports, Barrister Solomon Dalong, has also been speaking. We'll be taking a proper look on that. And indeed, the Under-20 World Cup in Poland, Nigeria sneaked into the round of 16. We'll be talking about that. So many people have been talking, criticizing, arguing, flogging, berating the Flying Eagles. We'll take a proper look on that and see if there is any way they are going to survive and of course get to the final and perhaps get to win the World Cup. And also we look at the other fixtures of the matches. But before that, let me introduce the people that are going to do justice with me today in this program. Patrick Omorodio, you are welcome to Vanguard Live Sports.
Tony, I'm happy to be here again, and it's always a pleasure to be on Vanguard Live.
Okay, it's always a pleasure being here, and indeed, it's always a pleasure for me to also talk on Vanguard Live. It has become a regular here, and so many people are making comments on this. And what you do is just go on and like us. Just give us a comment on this. It helps us also to bring you more stories on this. And John Egboka, you are welcome to Vanguard Live.
It's good to be here. Thank God it's Friday. We are waiting for the weekend. The weekend is here.
Okay, and when you talk about the weekend, you talk about sports, because it's on weekends that you see all aspects of sports happening. And indeed, we are looking at the Wanda Metropolitana, the stadium of Athletic Madrid out there in Spain. But unfortunately, there is no Spanish team that is going to be on display. It's going to be a Premier League encounter between Tottenham and Liverpool. But before that, let's they say charity starts at home. Let's begin at home. Yesterday we saw the Under-20 Flying Eagles, starting, and so many people giving them heart attacks, sort of. Patrick Omorodo, you saw it, and I do know that you were not comfortable the way that the Flying Eagles qualified, after a 1-1 draw.
Well, Tony, they were lucky to have qualified as one of the best losers. And, before the competition started, I told you I was not really comfortable with the team because of the way they qualified from Africa. But somehow they managed to get 4-0 past Qatar. And I think that result was the one that even helped them today to sneak in, like you said. To me, I think the competition is getting stronger and stronger. And if they have managed to sneak into the round of 16, I believe that with every game they got to improve. And if you remember in some past competitions, that's the way they always play. They normally win 1 or 2 matches in the group stage and draw one of them and qualify. Then from there they start getting on. I still believe that this team, because they were brought up from different countries and played under very few weeks as a team, so they are really learning as they go on, and I think they will blend by the time if they are able to survive the second round, that's the round of 16. Because from the way it is now, they are either going to play Italy or Senegal, and those two teams are deadly. Because if you look at the records they have, Senegal has not considered any goal so far, and Italy has just considered 1, and both teams have scored 4. But even if you see that, that means that Nigeria has a better scoring power, because they have scored 5. But playing against Italy, an Italian team that is very defensive, you must be very, very alert. You must be very, very serious and take your chances. Any team that does not take their chance against Senegal or and Italy may not go far. But if they survive those two teams, I think they can go all the way.
Okay, John, do you believe that the Flying Eagles, that they are work in progress, as in, as the competition, progresses, they are getting better? We saw them, against Ukraine. So many people expected that there would have been so much improvement. But we also saw the goalkeeper that somehow fumbled, that could not just, punch the ball, allowing, the Ukrainian that chance to nod it in, for a one goal before they finally equalized.
For the Flying Eagles at this tournament, it has not been encouraging. They've not really lifted our spirits. We expected so much from them, at least from the Nigerian perspective, because this is a Nigerian team. Despite whatever, this is a Nigerian team. We expected that they would bring their A game to the table, but they've not really done well so far. Now they are in the second round. It's a knockout game. You win or you lose. It's either you win or you lose. From what we are seeing now, if they play against Italy or Senegal, can they really survive either of these two teams? It will be very, very difficult for them if they continue the way they played in the group phase. For them now, they need to bring out their best performances. We need to see it. Igogo needs to prove to us that we are not right about him. He needs to prove to Nigerians that whatever mindset Nigerians have about him is not true. He needs to start thinking, what is he going to do against either Italy or Senegal? They brought it upon themselves. If they had won the group, or if they had come second, they would not be playing these tough teams. Senegal, they are very tough, very tough. They've scored 4 goals, they've not conceded any. Italy, we saw the way they played their first 2 matches. Very defensively minded. Only 1 goal they've conceded. So for Flying Eagles, it's going to be very difficult. Very difficult. But for you to get to win this tournament, you must start winning. They don't have any other team but to win. We are Nigerians, we are patriotic, we believe that they can do it, but it's going to be difficult. It's like passing through the needle's eye for the Flying Eagles now.
Wow, that's a very difficult one, passing through the needle's eye. And if you talk about that, we'd say that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And indeed, it's getting tougher in the under-20 championship out there in Poland, coupled with the fact that the weather there has really been very, 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 very intimidating to some of the players who are making their debuts out there in a very cold weather. But be that as it may, yesterday we saw the Flying Eagles play, a 1-1, Ukraine 1, and of course Flying Eagles, Nigeria 1. We also saw Qatar 0, and of course USA, almighty USA, coming up to play 1. Before we came up to this stage, but you were just telling me that this is the same Qatar that Nigeria beat 4-0. And of course USA beat Nigeria. USA struggled to even beat Qatar 1-0. That's football for you.
Yes, football is no mathematics, and when it comes to this stage, anything can happen. You don't have to underrate anybody, because see the way Ukraine played. They beat USA 2-1, and everybody expected that they would just overrun Nigeria because of the way we played against USA, but it wasn't like that. And at the end of the day, we managed to draw against them. But look at Qatar. I was expecting that Qatar could even pull a surprise. They were lucky. USA was lucky to have gotten that goal, because a team like Qatar, they always act as spoilers when it comes to this kind of thing. Being the last man, they say they don't have anything to lose. They put everything into the game and ensure that they win. But unfortunately, they still lost 1-0. So football is no respecter of anybody.
Football is no respecter of anybody. Yesterday, records were created in Poland, and one match that is still, the topical issue everywhere in the world, is the one between Norway and Honduras. 12 goals to nothing, John. And that's Norway putting 12 goals. It doesn't, past Honduras. So many people are asking questions.
No, they were looking at that game like the game that will take them to the next round, to qualify as one of the best losers. They wanted to score goals, and they tried to score goals. In fact, one of their players, Orlando, he scored 9 goals, a record. I don't think any player in this tournament can even meet that 9 goals up, he scored in just a single match.
Are you saying automatically he is going to win the MVP?
No. The way it is.
No, but as it is now,
9 goals.
He's leading the pack.
He's top of the pie. For where are the goals going to come from? Because it's going to be difficult now for one player to score 4 goals in a match or 3 goals in a match. This is the knockout round. They will mark any striker out. So the guy took his chances yesterday and he scored 9 goals. But the 9 goals and the 12 goals cumulatively that they scored were not enough for them to skate through, because Nigeria, we got the draw we needed. You saw the Nigerians jubilating before the match even ended. They were just playing for that draw because they knew that their Norway were on 3 points. Another team also in another group finished on 3 points, the best losers there. So records have been set. The challenge is there. Who will emerge the top scorer? Is Olanda, who finished in the first round, is he going to emerge the top scorer in this tournament? The challenge is on the likes of Nigerian players, the Senegalese players. Going forward, they have more matches to play now. Can they score more goals? Can they score goals so that they can take away the record? Because it will be somehow for somebody that crashed out in the first round to now emerge the top scorer of the tournament.
And that's exactly why we always say that you take your chances, when they come. And that's also one thing that Nigerian teams do not do. Anytime we are playing, against a weaker opponent, we hardly see Nigerians rise up to the occasion. That was an opportunity for Norway, and of course they took a very fine opportunity, a player scoring 9 goals, and of course that has gone into the history book as far as FIFA is concerned in the Under-20 World Cup championships.
Tony, that is a triple hat-trick. 3 times. That kind of performance, a high-class one. And I believe that Norway were banking on the fact that most teams will end at 3 points, so the goals will count for them. So that was what they did, because I think in the past some teams have qualified for second round, for the round of 16 with 3 points. So they were just going in for that. Look, if we score as many goals as possible, it will see us through. But unfortunately, all the best losers are now coming up with 4 points. So that's how they got it. They got knocked out. So, but I still believe that going forward from this round of 16, no player can score, because the tougher it goes, the higher the competition goes, the tougher the games become. If Senegal at this stage, in the group stage, they couldn't score more than 4 goals, I don't think they can score as many goals as possible in this round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final, if they get to the final. So it's going to be difficult. So that player, Halanda, will be the top scorer. He's going to win the Golden Boot. Nobody can match him again.
Okay, we're still talking sports on Vanguard Live, and it remains to be seen whether Nigeria will take it up to the finals. But then Norway 12, Honduras 0. Despite that, the goal range that we saw Norway pumping against Honduras, no way for Norway, in progressing in this championship.
No way for Norway. The Norwegians, they are out. Even though they are in Europe, so it will be easy for them to just go back.
By train.
By train. It will be easy. So the likes of Nigeria, Mali, the likes of Nigeria, we are still riding on. People are underrating Nigeria based on our performance. But we must believe that even the Mikel's 2005, the Mikel's team, they emerged as one of the best losers, and they qualified for the final, losing to Argentina, inspired by Messi. Maybe this team might just surprise us. It will be a pleasant surprise for Nigerians if we can win this tournament for the very first time. But it's going to be very challenging because they have a difficult task ahead of them.
Okay, difficult task ahead of them. But let's tell you that the matches in Poland continues today. One of the African countries, talking about Mali, will be squaring up against France by 5 p.m. and Saudi Arabia will be hosting Panama equally at that same time, 5 p.m. South Africa, the only African team that has kissed the dust, will be on there just for their last match against Portugal, and South Korea and Argentina will play. So, but South Africa, as in all things, they have everything. But unfortunately, when it comes, to this final fixture at the world stage, in whatever competition, be it at the African stage or the world stage, South Africa, they're always the first, to beat by.
Tony, I think the problem South Africans have is they lack talents. They don't have the kind of talent, the kind of reservoir we have for good players. No, but they have everything. They have good management. They have the welfare. Everything is going for them well. But unfortunately, they don't have the talent to do the work for them. You know, like most of us still tell them, like, if not for the absence of Nigeria in 1996, there was no way they could have won the Nations Cup, because Nigeria was the defending champions and Yekini was hot. But unfortunately, because of the politics Abacha and Mandela played, we wouldn't go to South Africa to defend our title. So that is the only reason why they won that cup. But somehow, I still believe that with time, still give South Africa some time. Maybe later, I think there's still that feeling of apartheid is still there, because the whites still dominate everything. The blacks still see themselves as inferior, but they should be able to take the game of soccer to be a game that will bring them out and make them very proud Africans. But somehow they are still naive. I don't know why, but I still believe that with time, that's the only reason they don't have the talent the reservoir will have that can make them succeed. But you see, they do well in competitions or in sports that are dominated by whites, like rugby, like cricket, like even the other game. I think there was another game they play, netball. All those kind of competitions dominated by the whites. That's where they make their impact. But when it comes to soccer, to football, they don't really make impact too much.
Okay, still Vanguard Live and of course the sporting segment. My name is Tony Ubane. We are looking at the performances of Nigeria and the other African teams. But let's tell you, that the fixtures we expect that Mali and South Africa will be on duty today, and that's that. So many other things are on the menu, but at least the unending crisis of Athletics Federation of Nigeria in the eye of the world, and of course that's a storm, in the world, talking about athletics. And athletics has brought so much fortunes for Nigeria. It has brought so many gold medals, and of course exposed so many Nigerians. And yet, this scandal is unending. It's talking about the money that was overpaid by IWF to Nigeria. John.
The 2 weeks that IAF gave to us, we allowed this weekend. So we have not heard from IAF. During the week, we heard that according to sources that they've returned the money. But is it really true that they've returned the money? They made a scapegoat. For me, they made a scapegoat out of the AFN president, because he's not really the only person behind this missing money. He's not the only person. The president of AFN you cannot just say that the president of the AFN is the only person involved in this missing money. The past minister has a role he must account, he must say something, because he cannot make a scapegoat out of this man. The board members who sat and quickly told that man to step aside, they must also come out, because you must say the truth. The truth. It's only the truth that will say that we help Nigeria, because we are now a laughing stock in the eyes of the world. Imagine Nigeria not qualifying. We have qualified already for the All African Games, but because of this scandal now, you might just be surprised that they might just tell Nigeria not to participate in this thing in the All African Games. Even be that as it may, the AFN president is already singing. Gusa is singing because he knows that they want to make him a scapegoat. The guy is saying that he's not the only one. Things have to be. Who is really behind this thing? Which hand? It's like the hand of Esau and how do they put it? The hand of Esau and the
voice of Jacob.
Voice of Jacob. That's what I'm saying. The past minister, he really played a role in this missing money, because according to reports we also heard, he was the one giving out the money. They should use this to buy kits for the championship in Asaba. Was it? How can you be using money of IAF to buy kits? There was money appropriated from government for this same championship. Where is the money? So how do you justify using money from IAF to buy kits? Is it IAF that gives us money to buy kits? What IAF gives us money is to develop our athletes, not to buy kits. The money for kits is provided by the government.
Okay, Patrick, I think there is a way now. I knew that, was it a day, 2 days ago, that they set up a committee, to probe into this and, of course, find a lasting solution to this. And the former sports minister, Barrister Solomon Dalong, before he handed over, said that he equally had handed over, he handed over a chunk of money to the suspended president of AFN. But at least you heard what the AFN president was saying today, that he came into office, to behold this scandal, that he was not even part of it.
Tony, we said here before, in the past editions of this program, that the money from IAF came during the vacuum that was created by the dissolution of the AFN board, because they dissolved the federation boards pending the election of 2017. So Guzo had not even come in when that money came. So how will you be accusing Guzo of being responsible for the money? What happened was that the money came, there was a Secretary General in charge at that time. This money came and the Secretary General reported to his immediate bosses who were directors in the ministry. These people reported to the PAMSEC, who took the matter to the minister. So between the minister and his directors and the PAMSEC, they should tell us where the money is. It's not a problem of the AFN. Guzo was not even there when the money came. So they should tell us what happened with the money. Either the minister and his people and the people who organized the competition in Asaba. Because to me, Delta State government provided a lot of money for that competition. Then the federal government was supposed to support. So if there was no money coming from government, and they now use money from IAF, which was supposed to be returned, it's unfortunate. So they are trying to just treat Guzo, use Guzo as a scapegoat. He's not the one that took that money. And the members, the impeachment they said they organized against him was because they said he was running the board, and he was running a one-man board, himself and the technical director. So that's the annoyance the board members had, because they said he didn't carry them along. So that was an escape route for them when impeaching Guzo. So to me, Guzo should come out. He was already talking. Let him come out and say it. Because most times, all these people, because they are government people, they are afraid to say the truth because they don't want to be blocked. Because once you start fighting government, they will never put you into position anymore. So, but if Guzo lacks himself, lacks his image, you should come out and tell the world the truth about the money. So I think that's the best thing for him and Nigeria.
Okay, that's about Athletics Federation of Nigeria and IWF about the money. $130,000 that was over.
No, it's $135,000.
$135,000 that was overpaid, and people are still finding ways. Committees are being set up. Blames are being traded. The other day, I was just going to the bank. I went to the bank, and indeed, I saw where they were counting some dollars. I felt maybe this could be the place where the money was.
You know why this is happening? Because it happened before in football and nothing was done. So they think it can also happen in athletics. You remember yes. $236,000 that grew wings from the office of the Secretary General of the NFL, and the door was not broken into. The office was not broken into, and suddenly money disappeared. I discovered that when I got to the ministry, I knew that money was taken by somebody, and police also probed. But at the point they got to a dead end, and they now saw the person who took the money. But because of some powers that be, some powerful people in the ministry and the government, that matter died, and the police report was killed. So I think that's why these people in the AFN had the effrontery to also say, if it can happen in football, it can also happen here, and nobody can say anything. That's the cause of all this matter.
Okay, and on Sunday, we're talking about the African Cup of Nations. The Super Eagles camp will be open on Sunday out there in Asaba, and all our players will be jetting in. We will now have the opportunity of seeing them train and play. There will be a match against Zimbabwe before they travel out, to Egypt, to continue their series in the African Cup of Nations. John, Eagles camp opens on Sunday rather, and what are your expectations?
The journey to the final lap of the journey to AFCON 2019. The last time we were not there. We've been out of AFCON for since our triumph in 2013. So the expectation is high in Nigeria now. On Sunday, you can just imagine how it would be like for Nigerians. Your team is converging in Asaba. Asaba is the new home of the Eagles now, so they are converging. Mikel will be there. Iwobi will be there. All the players will be there. All the invited players, even the ones on standby, will be there for this opening of the camp. The war is going to come into the country tomorrow, so everything is in tip-top shape for Eagles to start. My expectation is that they will have a sweat time in training in the camp. A word of caution for the likes of Simon Moses. The players, they should take it easy, because any slight injury, you just see that your Nations Cup hopes is over. So for the players, they should take it easy. This just train, be relaxed. And for Nigerians, let's just be hopeful that this AFCON 2019 will be a bountiful one for us. Maybe we can go there, we can go to Egypt and win the tournament for the 4th time.
One player that everybody will be looking up to is Mikel John Obi, and of course Middlesbrough have sent out a release that they have parted ways with Mikel. Mikel just signed for 6 months, and of course he came, he saw, he couldn't conquer, but at least he did very wonderfully well, playing, to the satisfaction of the fans and of course their coaches.
Well, I think unfortunately for Mikel, he went to Middlesbrough to kind of brush himself up after the Chinese experience. So, unluckily for him, he was not able to push the team into the Premiership. But to me, I still believe that he has kind of brushed himself up and is ready for the Nations Cup, because Nations Cup is no child's play. You have to be fit and strong to be able to play Nations, because this is Africa, not Europe, not the kind of football they play in Europe. Don't touch me. Here is physical, so you must be very strong and be able to deliver. But you see, again, I still want I want the NFF to address the issue of video analysts, because you can't just go into a competition blindly. You must be able to analyze the game of your opponents and know who to mark and who not to mark, because that's why most teams are able to get hold of maybe some good players like you saw what Liverpool did to Messi. They marked at Messi, and Barcelona became nobody. So I think our team, our officials will be able to get a video analyst that will monitor other matches and see who and who they will mark. And again, they need a physical trainer to train our players to be fit. Because I remember in 2004, Yakubu Oyebeni was just after most of them were partying, really. So they came to the camp very heavy, so they were not really fit, even though we got to the semi-final and then lost to the hosts. But to me, I still believe that apart from the talents, these other things should be done to make the team really fit for the competition.
Okay, so much on the Eagles and of course other sports. Our main topic today will be the UEFA Champions League that will be happening out there at Wanda Metropolitano in Spain, and that's where the two English teams, talking about Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool, will be playing. John, what do you make out of the two English teams, and where do you think the pendulum will swing to?
It's really going to be tough to call, to say between Liverpool and Tottenham, which of these teams will win. It will be difficult. It's going to be difficult, but this is the Champions League final, and in the Champions League final, you can expect the unexpected. Liverpool, they were last year's Champions League final. They lost to Real Madrid 3-1. So they have the experience. They've seen the bad side of playing the Champions League. Even their coach, Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't have this lucky charm in cup tournaments, in the final. He has played 6 finals, 2 Champions League finals. It was with Borussia Dortmund. He lost against Bayern Munich. He came to this same Champions League final with Liverpool last year. He lost 3 German Cup finals. He lost a UEFA Cup final with Liverpool against Sevilla. So the guy has been so unlucky in the final of a major tournament. Is his unlucky nature, is he going to work against his team? Because you can say for sure that Tottenham, this is their first Champions League final, but they are desperate to win something. Mauricio Pochettino, the Argentine coach, has done well with this team. Within the English top 6 in the Premier League, Pochettino does not have the money. His players are not paid the best money, but he has been able to do something. He has been able to make stars out of Kane, make stars out of Dele Alli, even Lucas Moura. So tomorrow's final is just one final that Nigerians will be happy to watch. For me, I'll be rooting for Liverpool, because you can just imagine how they lost the league by just 1 point. How they lost even last year's Champions League final against Real Madrid. But for them to win it, they must not concentrate on Salah. Because if they concentrate on Salah, if you say you want to make Salah your main man, they will just mark out Salah.
John, I hope most times clubs that you tip they are going to win, they end up on the other side. I hope this will not go that way again.
But I tip Nigeria to defeat Qatar and defeated Qatar. This football that you are tipping a team to win doesn't mean that the team might not benefit from your these things. Football can swing anyway. I know you are the master. You know how to tip a team and your team always win. Maybe you will tip Liverpool to win also.
Just nobody should walk alone. If you are supporting Liverpool will not walk alone. But I must tell you that the Champions League, the most interesting aspect of this is that two English sides that know themselves very well. It's a Premier League as far as so many soccer fans are concerned, and Liverpool, have the edge ordinarily, because everything. If you watch their last in this season that just ended, Liverpool had the upper hand, beating Tottenham Hotspurs home and away. And like John said, Liverpool have always been there. Jurgen Klopp has always been there 6 times, in the Champions League. But I think that Tottenham Hotspur should be satisfied with getting to the final of the Champions League. Nobody expected them to do that. I think that's, even if they lose, I think they will be beating their chests and saying, we have done the unexpected.
But after coming this far, do you expect them to slow down? They won't slow down, because at the end of the day, they will say, we're almost there, and that one will even ginger them the more to put in their best and see whether they can disrupt the Liverpool victory. But what I see, both teams came back from the dead. You see the way they came back. Liverpool came back from 3-0 to win 4-1 to win 4-3, and Atletico, they were almost out, and they came from the dead at the last minute to score against Ajax. So both teams are from the dead, but I believe that the experience will count for Liverpool this time around, because they have been there. Look, if you remember what they did in 2005 against AC Milan, coming back from 3-0 first half to win that competition. So I think they will be more fired up this time around, because Klopp will not want to get to the final consecutively and losing it. Because right now he said the kind of players he has now in this final, he has never had it before. So I still believe that. But again, like you said, they should not try to depend on Salah and the other guy, Firmino. They should try and see like what he did against Barcelona. They didn't expect them that the boys who came from the bench can deliver for him. So I think he should rely on that. Let somebody like Salah and the other guy come in second half after they've seen what the first half to see how it goes. Because Kane is just even satisfying himself. Is he a doctor to say that he is fit? So I think that would be the greatest mistake for Tottenham to throw in Kane into the fray in the first half. So, but again, I still believe that the luck, to me, history is on the side of Liverpool this time around.
Okay, history on the side of Liverpool. Will that history indeed favor Liverpool, a team that does not walk alone, or will the pendulum swing to Tottenham Hotspur, who have equally created upsets? And so many people in football, like they say, it has no head, it has no tail, and it is not mathematics where you say 1 + 1 is 2. Anything can happen in football. John, if you look at Liverpool, we have Liverpool, they have the stars, and 1 star or 2 stars, that shine brightly, in Liverpool. You talk about Salah, he's an African, we're very proud of that. We talk of Mane, he's an African, we are proud of that. And of course, you look at, even in the defense, you look at Van Dijk, as in, if there is no aspect of the place that Liverpool do not have stars. But also, if you look at Tottenham, Mora came up, with a hat-trick, and of course shot himself into reckoning with those hat-trick. And we have some, we have Harry Kane, who has equally, like Pat said, declared himself fit. He's so desperate because he wants to add, to Tottenham Hotspur, of course, making history. And the 2 coaches, Jurgen Klopp and Mauricio Pochettino, very fantastic, coaches that I so much admire because of the way they add, to football.
Just like Patrick said the other time, these 2 teams, they are coming from the dead, completely out of the system. Even Tottenham, their story is remarkable, because even from the group phase, they were already out. It took the draw against Barcelona at Camp Nou for them to qualify. Tottenham were not even written to be in this semi-final, not to talk of the final. Their story has been like a Cinderella thing, because they were already out. They knocked out Inter Milan just in the last minute when they got the draw. against Barcelona. So their story is remarkable, and they are hungry because, just like he said, you don't want to get to this final and you say you are almost there. No, Liverpool, they have this thing about getting there on that club. They've not done anything. They've not won anything in his 4th year in Liverpool. So everybody is saying, when is this man going to win something for Liverpool? How can you be getting so close to the title and yet you are losing? Is he going to break the ice tomorrow? That's the issue. You have stars in both teams, just like you read out the names. These are world-class stars. The X factor. These guys, they have X factor in their team. Tottenham, Son, he can only score goals just when you don't expect. Lucas Moura shot himself into the corner with 3 goals. So these guys are bursting with stars. The issue tomorrow will be not relying on a particular player. We are going to see the coach that relies on a particular player may end up losing the title. If you say you want to make this team to function, let them flow, bring out players, use your players. Don't say that this player is the one that will do this thing for you. Expect the team, let the team carry themselves, let the team be the team to work tomorrow. For me, I'm backing Liverpool because they've been so unlucky this season. I expected them to win the Premier League title, but they lost it just by 1 point. So that's why I'm backing them. But that's not saying that Tottenham will just allow them to walk in the park and get the trophy. No. Pochettino is young. You know, Real Madrid said at the time they were looking for him. The guy is just 47 years old and he's in the Champions League final. Jurgen Klopp is 51 years old. He's in his 3rd Champions League final. Will he be 3rd time lucky for the man? Will he be 3rd time lucky for the man? Pochettino will want to make a statement that, come, I'm for the big stage, because he has really shown that he's for the big stage. Because if you can qualify from a group with Barcelona, defeat Ajax from the dead, beat Atletico Madrid, you are good. You are good for the title.
And one player in Tottenham Hotspur, the goalkeeper of Tottenham Hotspur, says he is going to do everything to ensure that he wins that, for Pochettino.
Igolo is the French player. He's even the captain of France. He won the World Cup just last year. So the guy knows what he's saying. He said that he's going to win it because of Pochettino, because at the time the guy was fumbling. He was conceding some cheeky goals. But the guy stuck with him. He kept his faith. He said that you can be the best, and he kept his faith in him. And the guy has repaid him by getting to the final. Now the guy is saying that I want to add the Champions League medal to my catalogue of medals at home. You know, these French players, they have desire. Mola is also a French player. He has desire. They have desire. The desire will be the thing that will drive the team to win tomorrow. Who desires it more?
Okay, who desires it more? If you have the desire, you must always have the fire, because desire alone cannot fire you, to the final. And indeed, we're talking about Lloris. Pochettino has been of tremendous help to Lloris. He had alcohol problems, and Pochettino had his faith in him, and of course the man overcame his alcohol problems and even dedicated the World Cup, gave him, a trophy, the small trophy of the World Cup, that he got, and of course gave it to Pochettino, and that trophy is always in the office of Pochettino. Talking about UEFA Champions League, that match will be coming up Nigerian time, 8 p.m. It's a match that you must not miss. I know that Tottenham Hotspur do not have so many fans, and of course when you talk about Liverpool, we have so many of them. They are little jakeres, your friends who say that they do not walk alone. Nobody expected that they will come. Everybody expected that Liverpool would have crowned this a double, winning the Premier League and of course perhaps winning the Champions League. But this time around, opportunity is beckoning on them to do that which they have failed to do in a very long time past.
Tony, the participants, the teams involved are English teams. The match will be played in Spain, but the followers are Nigerians. I know right from the day Tottenham qualified, the Arsenal fans have changed some, because before now they were all praying against a Liverpool victory. They wanted Liverpool to lose because they didn't want them to win the competition. They were rooting for Barcelona. When Tottenham, Barcelona lost and Liverpool qualified, They also were expecting that Ajax would win to be able to beat Liverpool for them. But unfortunately, Tottenham won. Then the song changed. No Arsenal player wants Tottenham to win anymore. So they now shifted to Liverpool, that Liverpool must win, because they can't tolerate or they can't be comfortable with another London club winning before them. So that's where the real drama is in Nigeria right now. All the Arsenal fans I know, they are praying for Liverpool as against before the semi-final was played. So to me, I think the drama is really in Nigeria, even though the match will be played in Spain and the English teams are playing.
And indeed, if you talk about the drama will even be in the newsroom of Vanguard newspapers out there in Kirikiri, because when you talk about Liverpool, you talk about the news editor, Kenneth Ehijiato, the man that oversees all the things that enter into the newspaper called Vanguard, and his deputy, Innocent Anaba. Imagine where the news editor, the deputy news editor are all Liverpool fans. They say they don't work alone. Honestly, I want Liverpool to win, for the fact that in the newsroom of Vanguard, they'll lighten up everything the way we do it at the canal. And also, before we go, but let's just quickly also look at Ramos, look at Real Madrid, the captain. The captain of Real Madrid had a problem with the president of Real Madrid, talking about Ramos and the president Florentino Perez. And everybody expected that Ramos was moving over to China, because he was going to call time on his career. But just yesterday, Ramos addressed a press conference and said that he was going to retire in Real Madrid.
Ramos represents Real Madrid since he came to Real Madrid. He has really steadied the ship. Ramos won 3 Champions League titles back to back. With all the furore over the controversy with the coach, with the manager, with the president. Perez, Ramos, in his heart, Ramos is Madrid. Ramos represents Madrid. So when after all said and done, Ramos now looked at it that even if I go to China, am I going to oblivion? Is my game going to go up there? Who will be watching me in China? Nobody will watch you in China. Mikel went to China. He had to leave China. Hello is in China. We are telling him to leave China. So you now expect Ramos to go to China. So Ramos looked at it. Do I go to China, even though they are offering me?
John, I think that players go to China are players that want to call time on their career. Players that are tired of playing week in, week out, and perhaps players that equally want to make money. But you see that the Europeans, they are unlike Africans. Most of them, they just want to play for the fun of it, not just necessarily, piling up money.
At times, you might even go to China to get your game on again, because Paulino, he left Tottenham, went to China. From China, he came back to Barcelona. So you might go to China just if the environment is not conducive enough for you. Gervinho at a point left Arsenal, went to China. From China, he came back to Italy. So these players can move to China. The Africans, they might go to China when their career is in the twilight. They might go to China, but Europeans, being who they are, football is in Europe. You don't expect Ramos to make big name, big. Even with the money, Ramos is sending big in Real Madrid. Even this new extension is going to have now, he even said he's going to retire. So it's comforting for Real Madrid, because they need a stabilizer like Ramos in the defense, because Ramos' experience, he was the one that even helped them to win the Champions League last year.
And he's equally been blamed for the one that made them to exit the Champions League
this year,
when he intentionally got
he was doing it so that he will be ready for the second round, not knowing that the second round will be too far for him. He was doing it, he said, let me just get this yellow card so that I will not play the next match, which was for him inconsequential. At the end of the day, the team backfired. Such a big gamble. You don't gamble like that. Ramos, it was a gamble for Real Madrid last season. This season that just ended, it was a big gamble. They had their issues, the issue of Lopetegui, the issue of Scolari, until Mr. Zinedine Zidane came. Even Zidane could not even stop the drift. I think the issue with them this season was the departure of their talismanic forward, Cristiano Ronaldo.
And that's how we're just taking a look at so many other things. We've looked at the UEFA Champions League, that the final comes up tomorrow at Wanda Metropolitana, that beautiful stadium of Athletic Madrid out there in Spain. And of course, we talked about the God you know, the little god himself that is called Sergio Ramos, who is the captain of Real Madrid, who before now said that he was going to quit Real Madrid because of differences between him and their president, Perez. But I think that has been settled now. But we just saw Spalletti, you know, being pushed out of Inter Milan, making way for Antonio Conte, former Chelsea manager.
Well, you see, when a team is not getting it right, you know, there's every tendency for the management to see, look, we've had enough of you, let us try another person. And Conte, you know, Conte has also made his name in football management. So, and it's no small name in football. So I think because of what happened, Inter used to be a very strong name in Italian football, but somehow these days they are not getting it right. You know, giving Juventus all the opportunity to be picking the title as if it's a birthright. So I think the management wants to try Conte and see whether he can help them rev back Inter to what they used to be.
Okay, Conte is there, and of course so much speculation on Victor Moses, you know, moving over to Inter Milan with Antonio Conte.
If you remember that it was Conte that gave Victor the lifeline in Liverpool, in Chelsea when he was there. When Conte was with Chelsea, Victor Moses was irregular, and he also made an impact. That was when he was also doing well in the Eagles, because you know when you have enough playing time, your game will improve. So I think Conte likes his style, and he believes that Victor Moses will help him deliver. So that's why he's maybe considering taking him to Inter. And I think Victor Moses is not there yet, you know, because of what happened. That somehow they kind of relegated him, so his game dropped. But now going to if Conte is taking him to Inter, you will see Victor Moses come up again. And I think that retirement he announced so early, he may have a rethink in coming back to the Super Eagles.
It is still Vanguard Live, and John, you know, so many people are equally arguing that Victor Moses might not go to Inter Milan because there are too many Italians that will fit into the system of Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte used Victor Moses to achieve all he achieved in Chelsea, but that moving over to Italy, that there are so many other players that Antonio Conte can also get, knowing equally well that Antonio Conte was also a national coach of Italy. Do you share in this?
Conte left Juventus for Chelsea. He was sacked in Chelsea. He has been in the hiatus for some time. He's back in Inter Milan now. They've announced him as coach. He's back in Inter Milan. He was the one who transformed Moses from a winger to a wing back. Conte saw the abilities in Moses, that Moses is not just a winger, he can also function as a wing back. The Daniel Elves running from the back, supporting joining the attack. So Conte is really at home with Moses. He's at home with Moses. We know the Italians, the way they play their game. And I believe that Conte, even as it be that as it may that he has options in Italy, he will want to play with a player that he really affected positively. He will want to take Moses to Inter Milan. For him, he feels that Moses will fit into his proper plan because he needs to hit the ground running. Inter Milan, just as he said, a lot of money has been pumped into the team by the Chinese investors. So they want to see the fruits of their money. That's why they brought in Conte, so that he can rejig the team and achieve the aim. Moses has won Premier League. Moses has seen it. Moses has won the AFCON this thing. Moses is going to bring a wealth of experience that is rich into Inter Milan. If Conte have his way in signing him.
Okay, we hope that that will be a very breakthrough for Victor Moses. At least Conte needs a Moses in his journey, because we know that anytime there is a Moses, there will always be a way out of any difficult situation. But my fear has always been that when Conte came to Chelsea, Conte did not come with so many players of his own, but hoping that perhaps, like you said, the Chinese interest in Inter Milan will perhaps allow him to bring in players of his own choice, and indeed Victor Moses will be out there shining again. But unfortunately, Nigeria, we are going to miss him at the African Cup of Nations, where he says he has retired from the national team. We know that he's retired, but then not tired at the club level. It's been a very difficult time, you know, for the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Melvin Amaju-Pinnick, trying to convince him to come back to the Super Eagles. But be that as may, he has tried everything, but we wish him success in his career and hoping that the camp of the Super Eagles that will be brimming with so many activities in Asaba will be bringing them back to you on this Vanguard Live. You know, just trust us because we have the men, like I keep telling you, we have the men, we have people who know sports, and of course, we'll be giving you the updates and the best updates that you can get nowhere except on this platform and of course on the Vanguard newspaper itself, because once it comes to sports, then you know that Vanguard is known for sports. That's exactly how we're going to end. But before we go, I want to ask Patrick Omorodo, give me a prediction between Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur.
I don't bet, but I know that Liverpool will overcome. They will win.
You don't bet, but you know.
That's what I mean. I can't tell you 2-1 or 1-0, okay. But I know that.
But that's also betting. As in, you're betting. You're betting for.
I'm not betting. I'm predicting.
You're predicting.
Yes.
If you predict in any of these betting companies, you go home with cash.
No, I know they will win. That's what my mind tells me.
Okay, that Pat doesn't bet. Pat predicts. Okay, and John, do you bet or you predict?
Do I bet or I predict?
So
what is betting? What is betting?
Where is the pendulum going to?
I said it before. I said I'm tipping Liverpool because of what they've gone through, what their coach has gone through. They've been in this same situation for a very long time. So you just.
So you are not predicting scores?
No
score line, yeah.
No, it will be 1-0. It might be 3-2. You will see goals. I believe that we'll see goals.
Okay, none of my analysts want to stick out their neck. I'm going to stick out my neck, and that is why I am Tony Ubane. I predict that the winner of the Champions League will be an English team. And on that note, we round up this program. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's Vanguard Live.